Welcome to a resumption of our wonderful cooking series, Cooking with Coobs. This is Series 3, One Pot Wonders. Hello, yes, it is me again, your host with the most, Coobs, aka Clive Eddy. In this series, I'm going to present my one-pot wonders for people that are strapped for time and for pensioners like myself, a bit strapped for cash as well. I'm a bit older, a bit greyer. In fact, I'm the same age as Donald Trump at 76. Although I don't have all his hair. What little I do have isn't dyed. Today we're going to do my mom's favourite for us kids, and that was macaroni cheese. A Corningware pot, the one with the beautiful cornflowers. Very scarce and rare these days. They're quite wonderful, microwave proof, oven proof, and look pretty good on the table as well. As you can see, it's a cold, blustery, rainy day in winter. Perfect for some comfort food. Right, now, what ingredients are we going to use? Firstly, pen. I've got 4 packs of this pen from Woolies for 60 Rand. What a bargain. Some butter, you need a good few dobs. Bits and pieces of cheese left over, some cheddar and some, I think it's cheddar. Some black bacon. In fact, it's a half a pound, 200 grams. Corn flour to thicken it. Salt, a little mayo, a nice sun-ripened tomato, and 1 extra large egg. And of course my trusty Corningware pot. So, without further ado, let's get cracking. First, take a little butter, about a teaspoonful, teaspoon, rub it around the edge of my dish, just so that it gives it a lovely flavour and it doesn't stick to the walls. There we go. All greased. Now, I think I need about 1.5 cups of tin. I'll use about half this packet. A little more, I think. So that will be the most pedantic people who like to measure everything. 250 grams. 250 grams of tin. Not as much salt as you would normally use with pasta. I would say about a teaspoonful. Because remember, with one pot cooking, I'm not going to drain it. Or not much anyway. 2 cups of boiling water, That's about 2 cups, I would say, a little more. Right. A dash of olive oil, thanks to Astrid. Normally I just go for sunflower. This keeps the pasta separate as it's cooking and of course gives it a lovely flavour. Now I'll plonk this in the microwave. I'll cook it up for about 5 minutes and then when it's cooked properly I will add my other ingredients. Into the microwave. I'll set that on 5 minutes. That's 5 minutes at medium to high heat. Meanwhile, I shall set my oven to about 180. But on this old D-Fi, which leaks a little, that'll be more like 200, which would give me 180. And I think whilst I'm waiting for the microwave to ping, perfect time to have a little bit of the good old Oh Be Joyful. Discovered a new make, Two Oceans Cab Sauv Merlot. Delicious. Perfect. 2 fingers from the top. Cheers. Not a bad brew. I shouldn't have brushed my teeth before I started. Well, microwave is pinged. That's 5 minutes up. And I'm going to show you what it looks like. A minute or so. See, the wood has all been absorbed and the pen is swollen. I'll give it another minute. I think that extra minute or 2 is almost up. In fact, I made it an extra 2 minutes. It should be just about ready to whip out of the microwave. Come on then. Aha. Ah yes, that looks much better. It's absorbed almost all the water and swollen tremendously. That little bit of water that's left I will leave because that'll just act as a thickening agent. You know, I think there's a lot of starch that clings to the pasta. Right, now what I do, I slice up my tomato, carefully washed of course. I'll be layering the tomato on top. And I will be mixing a little bit of tomato through the mixture as well. First cut out that little thing there, the core, or whatever you call it. The rest I can chop into the pasta. See how you're supposed to cut. Put your nails over the front and you cut like that. That way you're not supposed to cut your fingers. Doesn't come naturally, but you get used to it. And I usually mix a dab or 2 of butter in with my mix before I do anything else. Whoops, whoops. Now layer the tomato on top. There we go, quite a generous layer. I put a bit of salt and pepper on. I always believe in putting a little bit of white pepper on. Very underrated ingredient. A lovely spice, lends a wonderful flavour to food. People tend to neglect white pepper nowadays. A little bit of black, traditional. Well, it's more traditional now, I guess. In the old days it was a rarity. A little bit of pink Himalayan salt. And now I do my cheese. I've got 2 little bits of leftover cheese here I'll use first. It's quite hard and quite crumbly. So just crumble that over. Got a bit of the, I think this is powder. On it goes all the leftover bits and pieces. Let me grate that in. There we go. Might just add a wee bit more of this new block of cheddar that I've discovered. Don't want to sink the ship for a ha'porth of tar, do you? Oh, also quite a crumbly one. Camera, please, Clive. Doesn't look too bad. Now I must just add the bacon. I think I'll need about 2 or 3 rashers of bacon. This is Georgie's back bacon. It's genuine smoked bacon. There we go. We'll flavour a dish for another day. Always cut the bacon last because you don't want to use a bacon knife on any other food. Because after this the knife gets washed. And you start with your cleaner foods, your salads and spices which could not carry any E. coli, and then you finish off with pork and bacon and beef or whatever meat you're using. Raw chicken's also quite bad, full of E. coli. I'm layering the bacon on the very top because that's going to grill and brown beautifully. Covers it to perfection. Sometimes a mum would cut up pork bangers, put it on top, which also made for a very delicious macaroni cheese. Right, now I'm down to the home stretch. I'm going to mix up my egg. about 1.5 cups of milk. If you've got full cream, it's better, but we use low fat. That should be about right. Perhaps a wee bit more. And I add a teaspoon of maizena to thicken it a little. Little pepper and salt. I'll just use ordinary plain sea salt. Now apparently a lot of the sea salt that you think is sea salt isn't sea salt. Did you know that? Yeah. And a dash of mayo. I learned that from my dear wife. She adds a little mayo to it, brings out the flavours. Good mix. Right, there's one ingredient. This one is by Ina Pullman. And it gives a lovely flavour to your macaroni cheese. You mustn't add too much though, else it's quite overpowering. I put in about half a teaspoon. Just lends that little bit of extra delicious flavour. And then you pour your mix over your macaroni cheese. Let it soak in beautifully. And there's your macaroni cheese ready to go into the oven. Oven should have heated to temperature by now. It seems to have. Middle shelf. There, middle shelf in the very middle. Give that a half an hour and see what's happening. In case you're wondering why I'm not playing records, firstly it's because of copyright. I still have a wonderful record collection, a Lenko turntable with USB outlets and an iron turntable which links directly to my Apple computer. I must have about 200 records, lovely collection, and a whole cupboard full on the bottom there as well. Oh, I'm a real hoarder. While I'm waiting for the macaroni to finish, I whipped up a little bit of salad, and now I must just add the onion. I'll show you a little trick. If you don't want that terrible burn from the onion, submerge your onion in a little boiling water for 1 minute. Drain it. And sprinkle it over your salad. It tastes like red onion now. Well, I think it's time I can remove this. It's been going for about 40 minutes at about 180. And, oh, it looks quite scrumptious. Look at that. impoverished king. So, till we meet again, this is Cooking with Coobs. Clive Eddie saying farewell. Ah, not a bad drop. Mm.